Apple Impersonator scams, CNN is out, and CarPlay Widgets. This is MacVoices. MacVoices is supported by Incogni. Take your personal data back with Incogni. Get 60% off an annual plan at incogni.com/Chuck and use the code Chuck at checkout. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, it is Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/MacVoicesTV. We have a few people in the chat room so far tonight, hoping for more, but as we record this, it's the Tuesday before Thanksgiving, so some people are already traveling. I heard this morning on the news that Tuesday is the new Wednesday when it comes to Thanksgiving holiday travel. So if you're out there traveling and couldn't make the show, well, you'll get to hear it later. A few things to go through tonight. The news cycle has been just a little bit slower, I think, because of the holiday, but we still have things we want to cover. So we'll just get to it. The panel starts with David Ginsburg in the top left of my screen. David, good to have you as always, and you have reclaimed your spot.
Apparently. So good to be here. Thank you. And yes, it's a little bit of light news week because I was having trouble finding some stuff for my show. So it's that's a slow time of year, but that's good because we're going to be spending a lot of time with family here at Thanksgiving in the U.S. So looking forward to it and glad to be here.
Yeah, that's good to have you. Marty Jencius is wearing one of the brightest things I think any panelist has ever worn on this show. Marty, it's great to see you, and thank you for brightening my day.
It's good. It says Kent State on it. And we have a saying at Kent State: can't read, can't write, Kent State. No, it's a wonderful institution.
That's a great saying for a university.
Yeah. It's a wonderful institution. I can't say enough about it. But yeah, this is a nice tie-dyed action sort of hippie-esque kind of shirt that I've got on tonight. Comfortable because everything else is in the laundry getting ready for the trip tomorrow. By the way, when the show's over, please remind me to switch the laundry.
All right. Somebody tell the S lady or the A lady to remind Marty. Brian Flanigan-Arthurs is here, and he told his pre-show that he's sporting a new camera. Brian, it looks great.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited to dive in and play with some of the features with it too.
Yeah, you'll have a good time. You know, 1 minute you'll zoom out, then the next minute you'll zoom in, and then who knows what will happen after that.
AI, the following you.
My favorite is the makeup option, where you can kind of apply different types of makeup. It's so meaningful.
Yeah. All right. So Eric Bolden is here, and he has one of my nemesis. What's the plural of nemesis? I don't know. Nemesi? I have no idea. But I am not a squirrel fan, Eric. So why do you have a squirrel behind you?
Well, I was thinking future dinner, but
Ew.
you know, in the week where everybody's out eating and thinking of food, here's a squirrel eating sunflower seeds.
Oh, they are sunflower seeds. Okay. I missed that part. Okay. Just because?
Yeah. Well, and I'm with you on I wish they weren't destroying all my bird feeders, but it was a good picture. It topical for the week. I thought I would go for relaxing squirrel dining out.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Or being dined on, apparently.
Yeah.
So
that's later this week.
That's later this week. After the turkey. Jim Ray is here. 2 weeks in a row, Jim. It just restores my sense of balance to the universe.
Yeah, I think my previous streak was like 150 weeks in a row. So
yeah, that's why not being here was such a big deal. Last but absolutely not least, Mr. Webb Bixby, again in a tie, Webb. I am so honored.
Okay. I
Okay.
had a meeting today with a couple of members of the Kansas City, Missouri City Council. So I figured that being around politicians, I better dress up. So because I'm asking for things.
Oh, okay. Are you running for office? Is that
No.
Oh, okay. It was just a thought, Webb.
I may help someone else run for office. So.
Did you give them a gold-plated stand with a crystal on top?
No. But
Okay.
I gave him a PowerPoint deck. How's that? So.
But I could see the wheels turning there. He's like, maybe I should have.
Should have.
Well, there's still time. I mean,
we'll see.
Never mind. Apparently not. Apparently not. Well, the first thing we have tonight, I don't quite know if this qualifies as a PSA or just an interesting post, but Apple World Today has let us know that Apple is the brand scammers impersonate the most, which I really find kind of ironic given the big focus on privacy and security that Apple has, that scammers still think they can do it. But on the other hand, if I twist it around, I can kind of understand it because they don't expect anything to come from Apple that would be a scam or questionable. So one of those most trusted brands things.
I frequently get the spam emails reminding me that my iCloud account's expired. It has not. So yeah, I that's just one example of some of the things that goes on. I've had Apple Care, which they've now kind of changed that structure at Apple, but renew my Apple Care account on some device, that some iPhone that I haven't had, since my iPhone 12 or something like that. So, things like that. But yeah, I can understand this and have fallen for it, but I experienced it. So.
Yeah, have had the same thing, Webb. Things expired. I'm still getting notifications that allegedly I owe money on an old iPhone from like 4 years ago. And it's like, no, I don't. So who knows? Yeah. Marty?
Yeah, I daily get an email, sometimes twice a day, telling me my iCloud is all filled up, and that if I don't, fix that or connect with it, or I don't know, I haven't taken it faster than the email because I know I got 2 terabytes on that thing. So why would it fill up? But I get an email telling me it's full and I need to act on it right away, and I don't. Nothing happens. If you want to see some interesting scamming, there are Reddit sites where you can go to that folks are posting pictures of Apple boxes and the different parts of their product and going, is this real or is this really a phony that I just bought? I got a really good deal on it. And it's interesting to watch how people pick that stuff apart and are able to say, well, the C is a little different. That's a lowercase c versus an uppercase C with Cupertino. That's probably a fake. So it's just amazing what people are attempting to do and then how people can spot those scams pretty accurately.
Last year at CES, I forget which government agency was actually there, and I tried to get them on the show, and we just could never get the schedules to check in. But they were there educating people as to the all the fake everythings that are out there, and how in some cases how you can spot it, in other cases it's all but impossible. So it's, and that's, I guess that's the thing that bothers me so much about some of the fake emails that we get. there used to be a time when the English was off or something was just pretty obvious, but they've gotten so much better now that you really have to look and think, and then maybe go and double check through a direct source to make sure you're not clicking any bad links.
It's kind of like, I mean, lately I've been noticing it on Facebook where you have all these posting, this person's having this big problem. And I said, that can't be true. It's got to be fake news. And the worst part is they make you go into the comments and then click the link to go to the article, and then opens it up and you go to the site, and you know, once you get there, that you got all the pop-ups and you got all the crazy stuff. So, I mean, kind of similar in this case. You got to keep your eyes open.
Yeah. Brian.
Yeah, I just wanted to echo what you were mentioning, specifically that wait and think, because I think that's where a lot of these scams are going, trying that sense of urgency that tries to get you that it's an emergency, something has to happen right now, whether it's Apple or many of the others. It's just that ability to be able to step back and say, I don't need to do this now. In that little bit of time, I think a lot of times that clears up your head and you're able to really think clearly. And like you said, check it out independently of a particular link it's trying to give you.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting to the point now that I don't like to click on links in email addresses, definitely not links in texts, because you just don't know. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what's going to come up or what you've just maybe inadvertently installed on your device. So it's too bad, but it's just the way the world works now. So everybody and unfortunately, we're coming up on a big holiday shopping weekend and into the shopping season. And so, the scammers are going to be just as busy, if not busier, out there trying to get your information or sell you fake things. And so just please be careful out there.
If you've ever searched for your name or address in Google, it's shocking to find out how many results have your personal information. And it's not by chance. Data brokers and people search sites collect your personal information, your name, address, phone number, financial information, income, and hundreds of other records. They sell and share it publicly without your consent. But Incogni is here to put an end to that. You sign up, give them permission to act on your behalf, and they go out and demand the data brokers delete your personal information. Ever Googled yourself and found your address, phone number, even your relatives posted online? That's thanks to people search sites. They sell detailed profiles of millions of Americans to anyone, scammers, employers, stalkers. And while those sites claim they don't use this data to harm or harass people, the reality is that they can't stop dodgy people from taking advantage of it. Now, you do have the right to remove this information yourself, but put simply, that would be virtually impossible. It would take hundreds of hours and it might just be re-uploaded weeks later. Incogni can automate this process for you. And it's not just spam email. There can be serious risks when it comes to having your personal data publicly available. We're talking about identity theft, cyber stalking, and even scammers using voice data to impersonate people. Now, these are uncommon, but it really does give you peace of mind knowing that you and your loved ones are doing everything you can to be vigilant against those sorts of cyber crimes. And best of all, you can cancel anytime, and they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can get it completely risk-free. Right now, you can get 60% off an annual plan by going to incogni.com and use the code CHUCK. That's incogni.com/Chuck and use the code CHUCK at checkout. Right now, you can get 60% off an annual plan by going to incogni.com and using the code CHUCK. That's incogni.com/Chuck and use the code CHUCK at checkout. Thanks to Incogni for supporting MacVoices.
I don't know if anything changed with this one today because I didn't see it, and it probably will have changed by the time that folks hear this, since they're not listening live. But CNN just quietly bowed out of Apple News. And the article I just put in from 9 to 5 Mac lists that they apparently, the thinking, nobody knows for sure because they're not in the negotiations, but that CNN is wanting to sell their own subscription to their information as opposed to giving it through Apple News. And the price they were looking for was, in my opinion, a little bit insane for news, but it is what it is. David?
Yeah, I mean, it's It is valid. I mean, it's gone because I am on my News Plus subscription. I think it's just the whole thing that's going on with Warner Brothers merger with potentially with Paramount Plus. They're trying to spin off a lot of this media off of out of there, and they want to get out of this business with HBO Max and all the rest of those properties. So not surprising, but honestly, CNN has been it's probably in its worst position it's ever been in its history because no one really is watching that network anymore. Ratings are down in the dumps, and I guess they've got to do something apparently to try to generate some interest here. But by doing this and selling a subscription, I just don't know how that's going to spark it. Just like MSN, NBC is now MS Now. They rebranded
MS Now,
they spun off away from Comcast to NBC Universal, so they created some separate company with that. So that's changed too. So I think the landscape in news in general has changed. News Nation's become a big media outlet now. It's when it started, it was like in its infancy. It was I was wondering if it was even going to survive, but it's become a player now in news reporting on in streaming. So and then you got Fox News and all the rest of them that are Fox News obviously very popular right now, and I'll hold my back any comments about that one, but it's quite a difference the way it is with the news reporting and how it's been in streaming for quite a long time now.
Well, I'm a little surprised. I mean, CNN's articles only plan is $29.99 per year, with an all access version with streaming for $69.99 per year. And they do give you a discount to $41.99 for the first year. Gee, thank you very much.
Yeah, nice.
I mean, with all the other news sources out there, and I don't begrudge anybody trying to make a living with news, and I know it's tougher now, but does that just seem a little steep to anybody here? Or is that, you think that's in line? Marty?
Yeah, particularly steep since, am I supposed to miss them on Apple News? Particularly when I can just open up my streaming services and watch them do the same stories over and over again all day long. At the same time, I think the article said they picked up the Washington Post.
They did.
Which, print media is having its trouble, and then digital print media is still having trouble. But for me, I'd take the Washington Post over CNN and infotainment.
Yeah. Webb, I don't know about you, but I'm a reasonably heavy news junkie.
I am too.
Tech oriented. And I try not to, if it's possible, I try to find something that's either not terribly biased or do two sources, one that's left and one that's right, or something offshore that is completely, agnostic, politically agnostic. But I just honestly, unless I were a dyed-in-the-wool CNN fan, and I don't know what they have on there that would attract me.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think $70 a year for the super duper just seems a little bit steep. It's not like a Netflix where I just renewed my Paramount Plus though, and that was, don't quote me, I think it was 120. It might have been 109, but something like that. It was over $100.
Yeah, it is. I do.
Yeah, and I enjoy it. I do think that I guess they're going to see what the market will bear. If people are going to flock to CNN for $70 or $42 in the first year. I did subscribe to CNN Plus for the reasons that I don't need to get into. When that first came out, remember they had CNN Plus. They brought it out, and then within 60 days they killed it. So I subscribed to that. So I still had that account, and I just went to CNN to look at it. And yeah, here's my $41.99 for global news and live coverage and blah blah blah. And yeah, I'm not doing it.
Well, you just mentioned Netflix. You mentioned Paramount. You have Prime. You have all these options for news out there. And at the end of the day, it's sort of the same thing with any of the streaming entertainment services. There's only so many hours in the day that you can sit in front of a screen and consume it. And so if I have a limited budget, I'm going to have a hard time dropping even the 12. Oh, excuse me, not the 12. The $29.99 a month on CNN News when I've got so many other options out there. So,
well, I still have YouTube TV. I still have all the major news networks on that. I can tell you that what I did enjoy. It's a terrible thing whenever there's some news, breaking news, serious breaking news. The one that came to me that the example I want to use was when the airplane and the helicopter crashed at National Airport in DC. I turned on YouTube TV. I went to multi-view, and I had all the news networks, including BBC and CNN and Fox and MS Now or MSNBC at the time, and I was able to monitor all the networks as to what was going on. I really enjoyed that. That's the kind of news junkie that I am. I'm not going to go to one streaming service. I like the idea of going to YouTube TV and doing the multi-view. So that's just me. That's the news junkie that I am. So,
but you make, I think, an interesting point, or at least popped into my head when you were couching it that way, that we all get addicted to this thing that I need to have it. I need to know right now. It has nothing to do with me personally, unless I had somebody on that flight or one of those flights, for example. But if it has nothing to do with me personally, I can find out in an hour, 2 hours, half a day, and it really doesn't make that much of an impact on me, I don't think. And I'm not a day trader, so it's not like I have to have the. So I'm trying to figure out now what it is they're selling, or what they think they're selling, or what they want you to think they're selling. I don't know, maybe it's an exercise in critical thinking, or maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, I just put another article in our private chat that says that potentially they are negotiating a new deal with Apple. That might be why that they pulled it because just like what Disney did with YouTube TV, that's what you're seeing now these days. They're negotiating, a contract to offer their content based on what they pay them for it. And I don't know if Apple's doing that. A lot of the news feeds are there, but it's hard to say. Even like Wall Street Journal's on Apple News, and they have a subscription model. Washington Post does too, and then that was off for a long time, and they came back. So Apple must be just behind the scenes, must be doing some sort of negotiations with these news outlets, and maybe CNN was up. I'm just believing this from Apple Insider article I shared. But
it would kind of make sense. I mean, I noticed that in several of the articles that covered this, Dave, that, some were like absolutely CNN's gone. Others, like the Apple Insider, were saying they thought it was part of contract negotiation. And so, I love that they're trying to put that kind of pressure on Apple, just like they were trying to put that kind of pressure on YouTube,
right.
And gather up all the people that are, looking for that stuff and not getting it. Marty?
Yeah, over the years, I did a lot of work in Turkey. And if you're in a hotel room in Turkey, you're desperately trying to find something to watch. And it's interesting. They have interesting cable systems there and cable programs there. But for me, CNN was CNN Asia. And frankly, CNN Asia is remarkable in terms of, for me being coming from the U.S., learning about the whole other half side of the planet that when you come back to the U.S., you don't pretty much get out of this side of the world in news coverage. And so that was remarkable. And also Al Jazeera, as controversial as that name is for folks, they are a remarkable news service in terms of how they cover stories, and particularly how they cover stories in that part of the world. So, I'm not missing or will not miss CNN. I rarely tune it in if it's gone off of Apple News forever. I just bump into it as I'm going through channels, but it never keeps me there or has me stay there. So.
Yeah, and I've always enjoyed the BBC to hear their take on what's happening in our country. But then you hear things, obviously, from Europe. You also hear things from Australia, that there's a lot going down on in Australia that we never, ever hear about, which is a darn shame. So, as opposed to, what the current cranberry sauce recipe is for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
let's not forget the Butterball hotline. Let's not forget that one.
Well,
So.
yeah. It's busy right now.
And the 20-minute interview with the person who works the Butterball hotline.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Saved a lot of people.
Yeah, but the question is, can the Butterball hotline handle squirrel?
Butter squirrel hotline.
Yeah, but
Butter squirrel.
We have talked a lot about CarPlay the last few weeks, and I don't know how I missed this, and maybe I saw it and just forgot. But according to this article from my download blog, well, you can do it because they tell you how to use iPhone app widgets in CarPlay in iOS 26. I want to go and play with this and see what it will allow me to install in CarPlay.
Yeah, I kind of want to go try too. I'll be back in.
Yeah. I mean, has anybody else done anything with this or tried this?
I've done. I have.
You have, Webb?
Yeah.
What have you, other than the usual CarPlay apps, what have you installed?
Just the usual CarPlay apps. I haven't done anything outside too much. I think I did. Carrot Weather, I think, was one that it just shows the weather, But what's unique about the widgets is, as you see on this example on the website link, you can tell you're in the widgets because it has a black background. And when you're in some other iPhone app or CarPlay app outside the widget world, it kind of has the standard. So I played with it. I've been driving one of my vehicles that doesn't support CarPlay right now, so I haven't done much with it recently. But right when iOS 26 first came out, I kind of messed with it. It's okay. It's just some more screens to mess with on CarPlay.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm not sure what I would want to install. Just the idea that I had the option makes me want to go and play with it and see.
Yeah.
What can be done. Jim, I can't remember. Does your Genesis have CarPlay or not?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So have you tried this?
I have not, because I haven't installed iOS 26 yet.
Okay.
And to tell you the truth, this is one of the big incentives I have to do that, but I haven't done it so far.
Okay. I mean, I have, but I haven't done this. So,
I mean, and I knew about, I remember, they announced this widget thing back at DubDub, and I was like, that's cool. And I see that this story has a link for an Apple developer note about this feature. So I'm squirreling that away for future reference. So
yeah, I think I like the idea, and I definitely like the idea, and I'm speculating now that it would allow this, but with so many of the large language model apps being on your phone, and I'm not sure there are a whole lot of them yet as a dedicated thing for CarPlay. I'm just wondering if that's something we will be able to use, because I keep hearing more and more people about talking to their AI app, their AI assistant or app or whatever, while they're driving as part of just a conversation, a way to pass the time. And I've experimented with that a little, but I didn't find the experience overly enlightening, at least not up to this point. So, but if I have more options to try different large language models, I might.
People are chatting with their LLMs as a way to pass the time.
As a way to pass
that really
the time?
squares well with what all the stories we're hearing about all the excessive resource use and water and electricity. It's great.
Yeah. Webb, you raised your hand. Does that mean you've chatted with them?
Yeah, I mentioned this on the show a 3 weeks ago. I have Grok in the Tesla, which does not have CarPlay. But yeah, I've had conversations with Grok, and my wife was in the car with me, and I said, "Grok, would you like to meet my wife?" "Why, yes, I would." Well, this is my wife, and just have that conversation. And I was impressed with how the conversation it kept going. I could shut it off at any time, so which I can't do when I'm conversing with some people in my life. But anyway, it was just fun. It's a novelty. But
This
yeah, I've had
creates
For now, you can stop the conversation at any time.
This creates a problem for me because I have real friends, and I don't know how to engage with artificial friends.
Citation needed, Marty.
I pay for that citation. Thank you.
Barry in the chat room says, I've added the weather and overcast widgets. In widget view in the car, I see those next to the map with active route. So, Barry, I think, not to challenge you, I think the Overcast is a native app, or native version anyway.
But it has a widget too, because I just added it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I'm wrong.
I don't know what the difference
is.
It
could be both. There definitely is an Overcast CarPlay app.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So,
but it could be a widget too.
Okay. Now you guys are giving me homework. All right.
Evidently, you can add wallpaper too. I didn't know that.
I think I knew that. I just have never been a big wallpaper guy.
When the show's over, I'm going to change my laundry, go in my garage, turn the car over, and spend my evening working with this. I'll have to remember to lift the garage door first before I do it.
Brian.
Oh, I was just responding to the commentary about LLMs and the resource use. Probably too many people saying thank you after each response and using even more resources.
Yeah, that seems to be a bit of a debate. Some people are very much like, I do it because I get better results. And others, like you were saying, are concerned about the resource use of just something that is maybe superfluous. So, I don't know. I do, Webdo, to your point, this has been months and months ago. There was someone who came out. This was before the large language model hype really got rolling, and we had the option to chat. There was someone that had released something on a test basis, and my sister and I had a discussion with it one night, asking for some advice on something around the house, and it was very interesting because the voice was great. The voice was just the results were just a little snarky, but overall it delivered some decent information. And so, that's kind of the experience I'm waiting to get back to and see if as I'm driving, especially a protracted drive, if I can maybe start talking to it about a project and just sort of riff on the project and see what it will give me. So we'll see.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you MacVoices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.